Hello everybody, my name is Cinema and in today's video we're going to be discussing the ongoing beef between Elon Musk and President of the United States, Donald Trump. Without further ado, let's get into it. Since June 3rd of this past current year, there has been ongoing beef and tensions between Elon Musk and Donald Trump. And today, in this video, I'm going to be discussing my thoughts on it. I've had a lot of people, or at least one person DM me, saying that, for all that it's worth, Trump and Elon beef was not on their bingo card. Now, me having the foresight of, Paul Atreides and Raven-Symoné if they had a child, right? I had an inkling that this was going to happen. I just didn't really pinpoint when. And frankly, it turned out to be 5 months in. Now that we're officially halfway through the year, it's like, wow. With all the crap that's happening, everything is just, going to shambles. And with the recent passing in the Senate of the Triple B, the big beautiful bill, Elon Musk took to Twitter and said a whole variety of things that got him beefing with the president. From leaving Doge as early as Memorial Day weekend to now this, he has stated, it's obvious with the insane spending of the bill, which increases the debt ceiling by a record $5 trillion, that we live in what he calls the Porky Pig Party. So, I don't know if he's called it Porky Pig after the Looney Tunes character, or if he called it Porky Pig after the character from Earthbound. But he later went on to say, time for a new political party that actually cares about the people. Yeah, no, that's bull honky. And then he just later, tags a representative from Maryland and another one from Texas saying that how can you call yourself the Freedom Caucus if you vote for a debt slavery bill if you vote for one with the biggest debt ceiling increase in history? Now, I'm going to give Elon credit where it's due. I understand why he wants to cut the national deficit. I understand why he wanted to create Doge in order to do that. But Doge, in my eyes, is merely just a little cog in the gears of the current administration and many administrations to come afterward, hopefully, in, running this country. It's not going to be something that one person is going to run solely on, especially in any of the two major parties here in this country. Considering that Elon is the wealthiest person in the world and he's also focused on getting humans to Mars, in my eyes, I don't see a reason as to why Elon should be butting heads with anyone in the United States Congress about this stuff. Frankly, if I were a congressman right now listening to the beef going on between President Trump and Elon, I would tell him personally that he has way bigger fish to fry and that he should be grateful for even being able to appear alongside President Donald Trump. But knowing Elon, considering that he's on the spectrum like myself and even a registered Democrat like me, obviously people with autism, as someone like myself, they have issues with, modulating their emotions, impulse control issues, along with many other things. And I think, for what it's worth, Musk needs to make up with President Donald Trump and cease any BS about forming a new political party. I mean, he even said that, the congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination and shame on those who voted for it. I mean, then he also posted almost a whole day ago on his Twitter, if this insane spending bill passes, the America Party will be formed the next day. Like, really? Really? Like, considering that it just passed in the Senate and it's going to go back to the House, if he's really that hellbent, I only have one thing to say to him.
Good luck with that.
Good luck with that. Because then he goes on to say, oh, our country needs an alternative to the Democrat-Republican uniparty so that the people, in all caps, actually have a voice. Yeah, no. I think that's just... I understand why he's against it, and I, for one, do believe that we should try to cut the national deficit. But creating a third party to focus entirely on that is not the best idea. And in order to understand that, I mean, there's not really something complicated to go along with it. You just need to look at statistically how third party candidates fared in past elections. You have politicians that, you know, like Gary Johnson and Jill Stein, that have tried to chip in their spot for the White House, but failed miserably. And as you see right here, there has not been a single third-party candidate that could even break 18%, much less 10% of the popular vote since 1992. To me, statistically speaking, voting for a third party doesn't really get you anywhere. Running in a third party doesn't get you anywhere. Don't believe me? Ask Kanye West. We all know what happened when Kanye tried to run for president, and it failed miserably. I can guarantee you, on my life, that even if the third party candidate's name was Taylor Swift, she still wouldn't garner 10% of the popular vote, much less 50%. And maybe by me saying that, that might bite me back in the ass in the future, but I wouldn't care if it did. I just think that statistically, third-party candidates it just doesn't work. The last independent candidate that actually won any presidential spot was George Washington. And he was the first and only president that did that. And it's kind of ironic, if you think about it, that he stated, hey, don't go breaking off into parties now. And then 250 years later, we fast forward to present day, 2025, and we're doing the exact opposite of what he said. Regardless, statistically, I don't think it would be in Elon's favor to vote, much less create his own third party. And historically, it would not be the best idea either. So my conclusion is this. Elon is way in over his head and needs to realize that money isn't always everything in politics. And if he's that concerned about this to where he wants to start beef with other politicians, he has way bigger fish to fry. And don't get me wrong, I respect him in some capacity, but I also dislike him on a whole host of things, his infidelity being one of them. And don't even get me started on the Cybertruck, because every time that my grandfather and I see one out in the streets, we say the exact same thing. It's a trash can on wheels. And that's a whole different argument for another time. But my final thoughts on this are, if Elon really will form a third party that is headlined by him as a result of the Triple B being passed in the House and then signed by President Donald Trump, the last thing I'm going to say to him is this.
Good luck with that.
Good luck with that. Because being real here, there's no purpose for a third-party candidate in today's political climate. I think it's a sick joke, and you should just leave it to the two major parties. Statistically speaking, it doesn't go anywhere for a libertarian, much less a Green Party candidate. And I guarantee you, even if the party candidate's name was Taylor Swift. She wouldn't even garner 25% of the popular vote. And that's not me trying to spew hate on one person. I just think that statistically it won't end well for Elon if he forms the so-called America Party. And of course that would hinge on the passing of the Triple B bill, but who knows? Maybe he's all talk and no show. But until then, we'll just have to see how the beef plays out. With that said, I'm Cinemavalanche, and this is just my thoughts. That was just my thoughts, so to speak, on the ongoing Trump-Elon beef. If you like this video, feel free to share it, as it will help with the engagement on this channel. If you agree with how I feel on the situation, leave a comment below. And if you disagree, feel free to duke it out, but do so civilly. Until then, I'm Cinemavalanche, and I will see you guys on the next video. Take care.